Golly. Oh. You see that? Look at my bait. That's a pretty nice fish, wasn't it? Guys and girls, do you know what a wake bait is? Do you know what a wake bait is? Well, a wake bait, and we've actually been making these wake baits for a long time ourselves. We've been taking something like a stick bait, a floating stick bait, not a suspending one, but one that floats. And we've been bending the eye around. We've been adding suspend strips to it, little lead strips to it, to make it work the way we wanted. And what we want is we want a bait that floats on top of the water, and when we bring back, does not dive under the water. So it just wobbles and creates a wake up on top of the water. This is a bait right here. This is a Lucky Strike wake bait. It's kind of a mean looking bait. It kind of look like it's got an angry look on its face. But I'm gonna show you today how to fish a wake bait, hopefully catch some fish on it. That was a nice one right there, so we know they'll bite it. Now that may be the only bite we get all day, I don't know. But I'm gonna show you how to catch fish on a wake bait and tell you some things that you ought to be doing with it to have a lot of fun. This is the time of the year to fish it. After the fish get through spawning, you got fry around in the water, perfect time to fish it around, perfect bait to fish around fry. A wake bait, let's get after it and see if we can get some bites. Woohoo, that was a good one there. There's another one. All these are males laying out in these trees. You know, I caught one or two female out, but most of the females are in the grass. These males are laying out in the top of the tree. That's a pretty nice fish, but it's another male. Oh. Ah, Jimmy, don't you get that hook in you. Don't you get that hook in you, barbless or not, it still hurts. Another male. Pretty good sized males, a lot of them. That's exactly what we have happening. They love that wake bait after the spawn. Golly, that was pretty. That's a big old fish right there. Boy, he come up and ate that bait. I'm talking about ate that bait. That's a big old fish right there. Get him away from these trees. Trying to pull out in the middle. One of the things you want to do when you're around a lot of brush, you get a good fish on, start heading away from the cover. I'm gonna put my boat on spot lock. I'll keep him out there. That's a big old fish right there, guys and girls. I saw that fish coming from 10 foot away. I saw him just a big streak coming out of the clear water. Come here, baby. Come here. Look at that fish. One hook. He's got a good chance of getting loose before I get over there and get my thumb in him. When you put your thumb in their mouth, they're going to do that jerk, so get you a good tight grip. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's a 7 or 8 pound fish. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. 7 or 8 pound. Oh golly. Woo, that is precious. Oh, look at the mouth on that booger. I just about stick my whole fist down there. Well, I could stick my whole fist in there. I see something. I can't tell what it is sticking out of its mouth. Golly. Ah. Woo! That, sports fans, is why you make sure that you throw a wake bait out here. The bait is, even though it's got a little bill on it, the way the bill is, it's made where it won't dive down. It's just a precision wake bait that anybody can fish. You don't have to take one of your jerk baits and doctor it up and work on it and fool with it and throw it. And the thing about those jerk baits, once we had them fixed up, once we caught a fish like that fish or some of the fish I've caught today, we had to adjust it. We had to adjust it to get it running back again because we bend that eye. But now you see the eye is straight on this Lucky Strike bait. And so it's just I'm so nervous. I saw how big that fish was. That was a big, big fish. Golly, I got all excited and got a backlash. That ever happened to any of y'all? Ah! Jimmy. You can pull that bait pretty fast if you want. Sometimes they want it real fast like that. I'm pulling about a medium speed. Again, get your rod tip up, get that line out of the water. But see, you can pull that bait really fast too if you want it. Look at that fish, come up and get it. Come up and get that thing off the top of the water. Golly, that's pretty. This is a small one here. They're all gonna be small. Whoop, thank you very much. Perfect catch right there. Got to see the strike, got all of the fight out of him. That's another good fish. Oh, he lunched it. He lunched it. The bait is completely, I need to retie. The bait is completely down in his mouth. Completely. In fact, the back hooks, look at that. You talk about lunching the bait. The back hooks are not even in the fish. Not even in the fish. Look there, they're not stuck in nothing. Oh, and as a matter of fact, there's only one hook that's actually in the fish. He had the whole bait. He could have not been hooked, and I could have still caught him because he had the bait lodged inside of his mouth. Whew, that's a nice one right there. That's a male. That's another big male. But there's a few big females running around too. You need to retie, Jimmy. You need to retie, Jimmy. Okay. Now you've got a split ring on this bait. Most of the time, if you've got a split ring on a bait, you want to tie just a regular hard down knot. I'm gonna cut off about 6 or 8 inches. You want to tie just a regular hard down knot. I love those little pliers. You can buy them at Bass Pro Shop. They're like $3.50 or $3.95 or something like that. They're very inexpensive. We're gonna tie a hard down knot. Now, I'm about out of line. You see, I need to put new line on this. This is a 6'9" Blaze Series rod, $59 rod. Jimmy Houston Blaze Series. I'm gonna come down here and I want to feel several inches of that line to make sure there's nothing messed up where I've been catching all those fish. And a little spot down there, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Okay, double your line. If you'll remember, to get you a pretty good little bunch of line here, double your line. If you'll remember to double your line, everything gets real easy on this knot. This is a Jimmy Houston knot, a pure 100% fishing knot. Run the double line through the split ring. Now you can use a cinch down knot. You want to put a loop knot on there if you don't have a split ring. But I've got a split ring. This bait is made to wake. I mean, it's not a bait that we've adapted. It's made to wake. I got the line laying on the index finger in my left hand. I got the line to run through here. I come up and lay the line right beside it. Now I'm gonna come over here and get a hold of my bait and go underneath my finger, going underneath that index finger on my left hand, wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm gonna come up here. This is what I've stuck through the split ring to begin with. Go on that little loop that's created under my finger. Grab a hold of it with my teeth. Wet it a little bit. That line's already wet, so it's probably not quite so important. But you wet it so when you cinch it down, it doesn't create any heat. Pull that line, pull your tag in line, hold your knot, put your finger in that little loop that you started out with, and then you can take your little $3 or $4 cutters. You can buy a lot more expensive cutters, obviously. But I buy a couple pair of these every time I go in there. They last forever. People are always walking off with them. Cut that really, really close. Nice, good, pure, 100% fishing knot. There he is, coming out of that tree. Boy, it's poison. I mean, it's poison in those trees. Nice one. It is poison in those trees. I mean, poison. Call your shot type of a deal. Another nice fish, really nice fish. He's got the bait in his mouth too. That sun popped out and the fish have become more aggressive than it was when it was cloudy. Of course, I've changed my pattern a little bit too. Fishing a lot more out in deeper water. I got my finger caught in that hook. I can't get rid of it. And I can't get the fish unhooked. I'm in a melvahess here. That hook is in my hand. That hook is in the fish. It's just barely hooked. I was in serious trouble there for a minute. Yes, I was. Just barely hooked. Now he's hooked on the outside. I don't see how they ever get off of treble hooks, but they do. That's a nice one. Goodness. This is amazing. This is purely amazing. Those trees. Golly, why am I even throwing at the bank? Why am I even doing that occasionally? Just throw at the trees, Jimmy. The fish are loaded in the trees. I'm talking loaded in the trees. Yeah. There's only 1 or 2 fish there. They're not like a lot of fish. When I say loaded in the trees, I mean the pattern. You're not going to throw and catch 8 or 10 And so sometimes you could catch fish that way. Come here, baby. Get out of that tree. Get out of that tree. Come around it. Come around it. Thank you. You gotta coax them sometimes. Give them to swim where you want them to. He's got more salad on him than he does meat. I've been catching a lot bigger than that. That's one of those smaller males. He ate that thing good though. He's hooked with 2 hooks, not just 1. That's why he didn't get off. I don't have any barbs on it. I should be able to get that unhooked. I'm not doing a very good job of it, am I? That's coontail moss right there, that leafy moss. The other stuff on there like this is just junk. Terrible stuff, I hate it. Down in that meat, even without a barb, it doesn't want to come off. It's gonna come right back out the same way it went in, yeah. He said, you could have taken the salad out of my mouth, Jimmy. Look at all these trees back here behind me. Look at all them. I bet there's a big one out in some of those trees. This is the only thing about fishing around the trees right now. Got a lot of stuff on it. That stuff will go away pretty soon, but it's a pain in the behind right now. The front hind too, I guess. What do you think, guys and girls? You think there's one in that tree? Golly, that little bitty rascal. He made one of the biggest blow-ups of the whole day. He's the smallest one we've caught by far. What a strike you had there, buddy. He says, I thought that big thing was gonna get away. I thought it was gonna get away. He's probably not even, he's probably 12 inches. Not even more than 12 inches. I wanna see an 8-pounder hit it like that. Oh God, that's gorgeous. Come here, little guy. Come here, baby. Another male. There's a few females hanging around these trees, but the majority of them are males. A lot of them are nice sized males, but males nonetheless. That's another one right there. Those females definitely put up a lot more fight. Oh, that big old cedar tree right there should have something in it. One of the things you want to remember is just like any other topwater bait, if you can wait and set the hook when you feel the fish as opposed to when you see him strike, set the hook when you feel it. Just wait that, pause that just a little bit until you feel the fish actually on your bait. Once you feel the fish on your bait, then go ahead and set the hook. Now, I'll be the first to admit I don't do that every time. Come here, baby. Get over that log. Get over that log. Come here, pal. That's a little one here. I'm back into catching little guys again, little males. Well, I got into some nice females there for a few fish. Now I'm back into catching the males again. That's all right. I like them. I like them. Golly, right there by the boat. Come right out of that tree. Tree's totally under the water. Right by the boat and come out and smashed it. I mean, smashed it. I haven't turned the handle a bit. That's what I got, about 5 foot of line out. That's a nice one there too. Oh, that's a big female. Yeah, look at her belly. That's a pretty female right there. Yeah. Now, a lot of those males will fatten up during the summer and get to eating bluegill and shad and stuff, crawfish. They'll fatten up. That's a big, pretty fat fish right there. Look at the belly on her. 5 foot of line out when she hit that wake bait. If you never fished a wake bait, it's really a whole brand new way to catch fish, and it's a great way to catch them. It'd be good if we had some fish schooling. They're not schooling yet, but when the fish start schooling, oh, there's another one. When the fish start schooling, The wake bait is poison on them. I'm trying to tell you, it's just poison. It's just different than anything else anybody's ever fished at them, I guess. Come here, baby. Another beautiful female fish. I love wake bait fishing. I love it. Oh my goodness. Don't tell Roland about that wake bait. Whatever you do, don't tell Roland about it. Yeah, 3 casts in a row. I'm in a hot area right here. That's another big one too. That's another good one. 3 casts in a row. This is probably another female. Females fight a lot harder too. Well, for their length, they're just a lot larger fish. I mean, they weigh more. That's another female. Look at that. Got in here where all the girls are living. Come here, baby. Another big, beautiful female bass. Oh my gosh. Can I do 4 in a row, huh? Can we do 4 in a row? Well, I didn't cut out there and I get around either tree. I threw right square in the middle of them. One come out of both trees maybe and get it. Those female fish, well, that first one was in this big tree that's, can't see, it's underwater. Come over the top of it right by the boat. She jumped up there and grabbed it. I'm getting ready to say, not too many out in these deep trees, but there's one right there. Male. Another male. Oh, pretty nice male fish. So caught some really, really good boy fish today. Not little dinks at all. Definitely not a dink right there. Nice fish. Yes, very nice. Wind's starting to pick up. Yeah, that's a nice one. Come here, baby. Come here, baby doll. Another big one. Come in this boat with me here, pal. Another big old male. Yeah. Come here, baby. Come here, sugar bear. I'm gonna help you out some. Boy, it's great when you get them in that soft tissue. You hook them in that, they can't hardly get away. I love to hook them right there. I love to hook them anywhere. Oh, he's bleeding. How are you bleeding? Holy cow. He must have had that thing a little deeper at first because he's not hooked anywhere where it would bleed. He's bleeding like crazy. Doggone it. I hate it. Look at that. Doggone it. That's a nice female fish too. Hopefully she'll be all right. I gotta clean the blood out of my boat. Golly. You might be better off on the bank than on the dock. Get out of that tree. Get out of that tree, little boy. Little boy. Oh, I think that's a female fish there. Yeah, that's a pretty nice fish. Yeah. Got a belly on her. Sweetheart. Sweetheart, yes. Yeah, boy, that's a big one. That's a pretty strike. Big fish, too. Boy, he dominoed on that bait. I mean, dominoed. Right out of that deep underwater tree. I mean, he come out of there and latched onto that thing. Another big one, too. God, that's a big old fish. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. I'm going to try to just boat flip him. Looks like he's got one treble in him. Oh, not a real pretty boat flip, Jimmy. That's a 5-pound fish. Big old pretty female. You know what? She's bleeding just a little bit. She's stuck in that gill plate right there and bleeding just a little bit out of her teeth. Not out of that gill plate, but out of her teeth. Her teeth is bleeding. I guess it went down and hit a vein. She's not bleeding hardly at all, but just a little bit. That's a big, beautiful 5 or 6 pound fish. What a strike. I saw her coming. Now that was a totally submerged tree. You know, it's about a foot under the water. And those fish, now I'm in, my Garmin says 31 foot of water. I'm in 31 foot of water, but those fish are nowhere close to the bottom. I'm talking about nowhere close to the bottom. They're suspended up in the top of those trees, and they're probably only 4, 5, 6 foot down, maybe only 2 or 3 foot. Some of them, especially trees that's got a lot of moss and stuff hanging on them that they can get under, and they're just laying there, ambushing things that come by.